Hi there, everybody. It is Jamie, and I am here with my friend Tracy to do another success story for the Create course. So I'm going to go ahead and let Tracy introduce herself and tell you a little bit about her business and kind of what she's doing, and then we'll chat for a little bit. So, Tracy, thanks for coming on.
Yes, my pleasure. So I'm Tracy. If you don't know me, I have an art business called Mountain Grace Arts. I don't even know when I finally started following Jamie, but I just basically do paint parties. Well, I don't know. I do a lot of things. I have Mountain Grace Arts. I do paint parties. I do have a Vendors Edge group, which we
That's
talk
right.
about vending if you want to sell your arts and crafts and stuff. So I have a free group open in there. And what else do I do? Oh, and then some big events, big like I'm doing tonight, like public events. So yeah.
Oh, what's tonight? I thought we were talking about
Oh,
tomorrow that you're doing.
tomorrow.
Oh,
Tomorrow.
okay.
I'm jumping
I thought,
myself ahead. I better not be tonight. I'm not even ready for it yet.
yeah, yeah. So, I don't know that I've ever asked this before, but how do you pronounce your last name?
Megan.
See, I think that I was always thinking it was Magin,
A
like
lot of
Magin
people
or
think
something.
it's
Yeah.
Megan.
So
And
Megan.
my
Okay.
husband used to a teacher kept calling him Magin. Magin is what they called him. Magin.
Oh, okay.
And so then all of his friends, that was his nickname, was Magin. And then Cody was called Little Magin. And then when he was in preschool, he argued with the teachers how they were pronouncing his name, and they were pronouncing it right. But he was like, no, it's Magin. And I'm like, no, it's not.
Well, I'm glad that I asked because I wasn't sure and you didn't say it at the beginning. So I was like, I need to make sure and ask her because I know
Tracy
that was an important thing when I was teaching. I always wanted to make sure that I was pronouncing the name correctly, and because that's a big
Yeah,
deal because
yeah.
that's who you are. That's your name. So,
Well,
yeah.
my name still to me is my maiden name, which is Braddock.
How do you spell that? B-R?
Adach.
Oh, yeah. See, I would have never I would have definitely mispronounced that. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got
There you go.
Broaditch a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Megan. Okay.
Megan.
Very good. So, and I don't know that I've ever asked you how you came up with your name for your business.
So, well, when I started my business, I found it. I happened upon my business by finding Heidi Easley, like a lot of us have, and I just was painting with one of her. I think it was the fall ball, and I'm like, oh, I can paint. I didn't really know it. I mean, I knew I was artistic, but I didn't really know I could do like acrylic painting. I'd never done it before.
Oh, okay.
And then she talked a lot about God and faith within that. And I have mountains in my backyard.
Oh,
And
I've seen your view before. Yes.
so I just, to tie in God and everything, that's how I came up with it. Was where I live, mountains and grace of God. So that's how.
That's very cool. Yeah, I kind of assumed that maybe, but I didn't know if there was some other association or something with that. So
No,
very cool.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, tell us kind of what your life was like because you took the very first round of Create, right?
Yep.
So that was in March of 2022.
Yep.
Tell us about when did you start your business up to that point, kind of what was going on?
So before I started Create, my business I had started in 2020, but I wasn't really doing it to its fullest. I was laid off at the time, but I wasn't really sure what I was doing. So I went through all of that. And then just as I started to finally kind of figure it out, and that was right after Create, I decided to take this weird teaching job to teach dental assisting because that's what I used to do for 25
Oh,
years.
okay.
And I had always kind of in my mind years ago thought I really would like to teach dental assisting. So I took that venture, which was not a great one. And during that time, I kind of slacked off on my own business and And then my old doctor called and wanted me to assist again. So I went back to work for her.
Oh, okay.
And so, yeah, so I had put off my business for a while. And then when I took Create in the fall, that's when kind of light bulbs went off. And I'm like, what am I doing? Like, my husband can support us pretty well without me working because he mostly has. And so why am I doing this? Like, so then I quit my job.
And that was not
retired.
too long after, because I think you announced it in Create that you're going to quit, and then that happened in December.
December 1st was my last day.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very exciting. So, yeah, so you've really had kind of a transition. It was different the first time that you took it than the second time.
Yeah.
And what would you say like your favorite thing about the course has been? And now that you've taken it twice, maybe there's two different things.
Let's see. The first time I kind of did different things within both of them. So the first time I really kind of took it all in and was kind of more observing everything but doing stuff. The second time I was really kind of doing like the steps of it all. But not necessarily marking my done at the end. I was doing really good in the beginning and then I stopped doing that. So I was like, but yeah, so I think, and then that's just kind of, I started taking in the fact of like what I needed to do for like community and what I needed to do for myself, like
all the different practices,
routines and stuff. Like I really needed to focus a lot on how to care for myself to help care for my business. So
yeah, we talked a little bit about that earlier. Yeah,
that was a lot of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So Tracy was on the coffee chat that we had earlier today for the Create students who signed up early and they decided quickly. We had a little coffee chat. And then for any of the students who they have the opportunity to come back and also be able to take the course, we got together on just a little Zoom coffee chat. So we were doing that this morning. So if you decide to take Create, you can go in and watch the coffee chat. But these were for the people who had made the decision early and the people who were returning. And so I've already gotten to chat with Tracy once this morning and and talk a little bit earlier. So Tracy, I know that we mentioned this beforehand, but I noticed on the coffee chat that you had something in the background there that I thought maybe you would want to. Yeah, she's moving her camera so she can show us. So Tracy is showing something that we actually do create in the Create course.
So, we do.
I know when I first came up with the name, I thought, oh, well, I need to have something in here that is creative that we do. So Tracy's showing the puzzle pieces, and the puzzle pieces are, if you have seen on the Creative Business Owner Basics or on this event for the boot camp, there are puzzle pieces. And there's a couple of different reasons why, and I've shared a little bit of the story, but Tracy created hers on a canvas, which I thought was very cool. Hey, Noreen's popping on here and she says, very cool. So Noreen signed up for Create last night. So she was watching the boot camp. So Noreen, that is a project that you will get to do inside Create, and you'll find out a little bit more about that. But I love Tracy's version of how she did that and put it all together and had all of the different practices and the word create on there. And so I told her that I was snagging her idea and I'm going to make my own this time. So and go through, with my own colors and, how I want to put it on there. So
I started mine with my color. Like that's where I started, but then I'm like, really need it to be very colorful. So the rest of them were just random. Like, rest I did like a darker blue because I figured like kind of like nighttime.
Yeah, so they all had meaning. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the way that you did the Create letters, it ties it all together.
Yep. And then so this I just traced the pieces as they connected to put it on the canvas. But you could cut it out and like actually Mod Podge the pieces on too.
Yeah, because that's part of the creative process. You
Yeah.
can figure out and do what you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that is the project that we do inside of the Create course. Is there is a puzzle piece, because we've talked about all 6 of the practices fit together and they work together and they are connected in different ways. It's almost like you can't take out one of the practices. You have to have all of them kind of. We talked about the evening routine yesterday and how it fits to have it. An effective evening routine affects your morning routine, and so they're all connected. So
So
I see Jamie popping on. She made a little
hi,
smiley face.
Jamie. The very first boot camp you did for Create, you did this.
Oh yes, and she made one for the savers that we talked about for the AM routine. So it looks like a big playing card the way that
it's just out of my art journal.
Yeah.
I ripped it out of there. I kept meaning to frame it, but I haven't. It was up on my bulletin board. That's why you were hearing crashing, because all my little pieces were falling down.
Oh no. So I think that that's an awesome way to be able to remember some of the concepts, some of the different things. So each one of the practices in the Create course has 3 different lessons. And I do have challenges in the lessons and things to do and to take action and implement, because that's part of the process, is practicing the practices, right? And the things that we learn in there. So I think that's awesome, Tracy, that you take those things and then you make something that's visual to help you to remember those. So
yep, I do that, and so that it makes my art space pretty when I'm in here.
Yeah, with helpful information.
Yeah.
So, well, like I mentioned before, Tracy is already in the new course, because that is an opportunity for anybody who takes it. They can come in and take the course again, because each time there's new things that you receive, that you learn, that you hear, and you're in a new place in your business. So, December, you had already taken Create twice, but now you don't have that. Did you work full time?
I worked full time. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So since December, she's been working full time, and we haven't had the Create course. We haven't had the weekly Zooms to get together. We haven't had all of those things. So there's a lot of excitement building up for the people who are taking Create again, and for the ones who are taking it, as a new student coming through, just all the different things that you learn where you are and your journey and what it is that you need to pick up. And I would say probably one of the things, well, I'll ask you, what's one of your favorite things, like, overall about the course?
Well, I love the community and I love the people.
Yeah.
Because I was at the retreat, and I loved them before the retreat, but
yeah, because we spend about 10 weeks together and we do see each other on Zoom once a week, everybody you get to know everybody in the course. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Quite well.
I would like to say that a lot of the people that have asked me about your course want to know how to go to the retreat. And the way you go to the retreat is you take Create.
Yeah. Yeah, I have not announced the retreat, but there is going to be one, and it will most likely be next May, and it is going to be on Anna Maria Island again. But yes, the way that you get the invitation to the retreat and get the opportunity to be able to be one of the first people to sign up, because I am always going to keep it smaller. I'm always going to keep it kind of
and that was special too, that we did that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What do you think would be maximum size limit to be able to have it still feel small?
Well, I had the smallest group, so I don't even know what it was like to have 8 people.
Yeah.
Because I had a small group. So I mean, if it was up to like 10 or 15, it would be fine. It's just that not everybody would connect together real super close.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So I'm looking at a house where I would be able to have 15 in each group. And I really think that that's about the max that I would do, just
Yeah.
for that reason that you're talking about, because people wouldn't be able to really get to know, because it's basically a 2.5 day retreat,
Yeah.
and you wouldn't be able to get to know each other as well. But taking the course,
I'd
you
be good
do.
for a longer retreat.
I don't know about that.
I know, but
Yeah.
it's a thought.
Yeah. So the course, though, because we meet on Zoom and get together, and if you take the VIP option, you have the opportunity to have 3 additional Zooms where we get together. You really do get to know the people, and it's a very active group during that 10 weeks where you're asking questions and getting to know people in the group, and the challenges that we do help with that too. And you really do get to know people. And I know that there have been connections in the course where people have, traveled together, met up, different things like that. So there is that opportunity to be able. Tracy just connected with somebody, Noreen, it was Laura. It was Laura that was on the coffee chat earlier. They made a connection that they didn't know about each other before. So there is that opportunity. I think community, and I love that we talk about that one first, because it kind of sets the tone for the whole 10 weeks of how we go through the course. So the course will end like right at the end of September, kind of leading up to fourth quarter.
Yeah.
That was one of the suggestions that I had when we took it in the fall, like end it before fourth quarter, because we're too busy. We have too many parties. We have too many things going on. So that was intentional, that I wanted it to end before fourth quarter. So, yeah. Well, is there anything that you would tell anybody who watches this, who's been wondering? You said several people have asked you about the retreat, but is there anything that you would tell people that are thinking about, like, why should they make the decision to take Create?
So I really think Create's good for anybody, not on any level.
I keep hearing that.
And the reason I say that, I mean, I know that there was some people that said, well, I'm already good enough in my business, and I'm, I don't need any more extra coaching or anything. And I want to say that there's some coaching, but it's very much it's getting in tune to a part of you that actually will make your business grow better than, even if you have the most successful business. I think it just really brings out yourself. Like, it makes you think about yourself. It makes you think about what you're doing for your business, but more about caring for your own self. It's just a very moving course. Like, it helps your business grow because you're growing yourself. Does that make sense?
That's a really good way to put it. I never thought about it like that. And that was my hope, because I was using these 6 different practices for exactly what you're saying, to help take care of myself, to learn about myself, to be more aware, more mindful, all of those things. But that is part of basically the mission of the course, is to take you from being stuck in your head. But there can be stuck a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
You can be stuck in the past. You can be stuck with your limiting beliefs. You can be stuck with, all kinds of different things. And then to take you to being confident in your core. And that core, more and more to me, is kind of like what you're talking about. It is the core of who you are. It's the core that you need to have strengthened so that you can show up to your business and be successful in the world terms of making money, that kind of thing, but also on a level of being successful because you're confident in who you are, and you can show up in your business that way without wondering how the imposter syndrome thing, the fear, whatever those limiting things are that are holding you back. So
I feel like some people think that they're not stuck in their business because their business is thriving, but they probably are stuck in their head by the way they're thinking about themselves.
Yeah.
So that's the other end of it. And if you have any bad thoughts about yourself, then you need to find a way to tune those out and find a way to get ahead and unstuck from that thought. And then if your business is thriving now, it's going to thrive even more after you've self-improved yourself.
Yeah. I've never shared about this story, but I read about it not too long ago, and it's kind of around that idea of success. And most people think it's a monetary thing to be successful. So I'm going to wait till you quit drinking.
Sorry.
Because I didn't want you to start laughing.
Oh, God.
So most people have probably heard of the business Spanx, right? Or the product Spanx. Do you know the owner who used to, or the founder, I guess, of that company is Jamie Kern Lima, I think is how you say her name.
Yeah, I've seen her.
So she sold that business a couple of years ago. And the story that I was reading about her was she was so focused on being successful that it ran her down. She was so burned out. And I don't remember all the details. And she tried to kind of step back a little bit and tried to work through that and really focused on her mission of why she wanted to make those available, just the whole company. But it just kind of got to a point where she knew that her taking care of herself meant selling that business. And so it always kind of makes me think of, at what cost do you want to be successful? It wasn't worth it to her when it affected who she was and how hard she was working and things she was missing out on and, all of these things, because it was like, I think it was like $1 billion business. And, it takes a lot of energy and a lot to manage that, I'm sure. So I don't know all the details, if I'm getting all of them correct, but it always makes me think of that when I think about success and just, at what cost.
Right.
You have to, I shared the success equation. You have to have achievement, achieve the things, reach your goals, all monetary, whatever those achievements are. But you also have to have fulfillment. You have to have things that you enjoy. It has to be fun. It has to be, right?
Yeah.
Like we do some fun things inside the course. We did some fun things at the retreat. I told somebody early, like, there has to be fun.
Oh, for sure.
There has to be a level of fun.
For sure.
So.
I would be bored if I wasn't having fun all the time.
Yeah. Tracy likes to laugh, if you can't tell. Yes. And to have fun. We talked about a little bit about being multi-passionate, right? And Tracy, I think, definitely is someone who likes to laugh, but she also has this very soft side and she can cry very easily. So she has, yeah.
Let's not cry.
So I see a couple, I'll pull up some comments. So Ida said that she loved the way that you described the course about the growing inside, I think is what she was kind of referring to. I see Teresa just popped on. So she's another Create alumni. And you can put that in the comments if you want. And then she said, comparing with others is what gets me stuck.
Yep.
Yeah, we're going to talk, I think, even more about that, because that seems to be something else that I hear creeping in a little bit more, is the idea of the imposter syndrome or the comparing yourself to other people, and just a lot of limiting beliefs, right?
I have a hard time with that too. Like,
yeah.
I find myself trying to think not to think that way, and then I start thinking that way. It's like I'm making it happen all the time, and I'm like, stop! Like, you're fine,
Yeah.
But I have a lot of good competition out here in Arizona, so.
Yeah, but I know at least one that you're kind of thinking of, but it sounds like when we collaborate with people rather than feeling like it's competition, there's a lot of awesome things that can happen.
Yeah.
And
which I've done. Yeah.
Yeah. We're our own people, and there are I think 8 billion people in the world now. Some people are going to be attracted to Tracy. Some people are going to be attracted to the way that I do things. Some people are going to be attracted to Edith and the way that she does things. And there's enough. Do you know really where a lot of that limiting belief of imposter syndrome or comparison, it comes from a scarcity mindset, right? It comes from we feel like there's not going to be enough to go around. Mm-hmm. And I always think of our mentor, Heidi, always talks about the bread aisle, right? And she talks about there's like 50 different kinds of bread. Mm-hmm. It's not like there's only one for us to choose from. There are people who buy all those different kinds of bread, or they wouldn't offer them at the store. Right. So I think about that. We all have our own flavor, our own spices, our own, seasoning, however we do things that makes us unique. And there's enough. And the way that you have collaborated with people, I think, is a much healthier way to deal with all of that than ever feeling like, people are competition.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I've learned a lot for sure.
Yeah.
From all of that.
And it's a practice because, I've 21 years, I've been applying a lot of these practices. And just 2 weeks ago, I had a little thought like, oh, I could have been doing that. Or the shoulda, woulda, coulda, thing or whatever. Yeah. So, yeah. So it's a practice. It's something that you still, but having these different tools, these different things like the savers to remember, your puzzle pieces, all of those things that help you to have that foundation really of those 6 different practices are what helps you get through those things.
Yeah.
Right. I don't stay in those areas. A couple of weeks ago, it came in. I was aware of it. I was like, yeah, I can't think like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you asked a question this morning on the thing.
Yes.
I'm sure people want to know if I thought of a word.
So I had asked the question along the lines of, when you are finished with Create this time, what is like the one word? What's your intention? What's your word, something that would sum it all up in just one word? And Tracy didn't have one exactly. And I said, I think there's something. So I told her that.
You already said my word.
I did.
Mm-hmm. So I plan on, and I wrote it all down in my book.
That's her journal from the retreat.
And I'm going to use this for my Create course. I already got it started. I wrote it down. It says intention.
Oh, that's good.
I'm going to do the homework with intention, the guides with intention, and then come out driving my business with intention and purpose.
Driving your business. I like that because that is very, it paints a picture. It shows you with your hands on a wheel. So I love that. Yeah. And very much in control. I think sometimes we feel like things are happening to us. And, a little flip that I've heard is things are happening for you. Not to mean that there's a reason why bad things happen. Like, that's not what that means, but that you can learn from any of those things. So the fact that you're driving means that you get to control how you filter those imposter syndrome, comparison, whatever it is, so that you're in control of how you frame that story, how you frame that thing. So, yeah.
I also plan on keeping myself on schedule and focus this time.
Well, being in a group and a course like Create helps to do that, right? Because I'm kind of keeping up, and I do offer incentives and prizes, and there'll be some trackers and some different things in the group to be able to do that. So we start on Monday, and there's already some things in the group. Some things get released on Monday, and I believe we're going to do an orientation on Sunday night where I can talk a little bit more about that too. So Teresa says, it was great words, Tracy. It really helps with the visual. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So I see Sharon popped on. So she just got into the course, I think last night or early this morning.
Yay.
Yep. And Teresa says she knows at this and she's working on her mindset. That's all that you can do.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
Oh, here Jamie said, I wanted to pull this. I think everyone feels that way at times when you were talking about, and you just remember the world needs you and your unique style.
Yes.
So, yep. That's definitely true.
Yes, for sure.
Well, Tracy, is there anything else that you would say to anybody who's thinking about taking Create and if they have any, just do it.
Do it.
Wait, is it Nike?
And then use my name when you do it.
So yeah, if you have any questions, you're unsure, you can ask Tracy. Can they send you a message on your personal profile?
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, they can ask here too.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, but she says just do it because
just do it.
The community definitely, it's fun to watch how everybody connects. And I think after the retreat, didn't you connect with a couple of people and now you have like a special little chat?
Yeah, we have a special little, and we're going to start planning Zooms together too.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Oh, maybe we can study together in our Create course.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Penny, Lori, you hear that?
You'll have to tag them in the video so that they can come and watch and then they know. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I think the community is one of the biggest things that it's fun for me to see everybody connecting and just getting close. Because I think we feel alone working our business. Sometimes it's important to have that community. And we talk about that more in that very first practice. So, well, Tracy, thank you so much for coming on and chatting and sharing and not saying anything that I would need a tissue for.
Oh, yes. Thank you for that.
And thanks for sharing your puzzle piece. I think I'm going to have to find some time to get that all together so that I can start mine and find the right size and everything to be able to do that. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye.